It's alive! It's alive!
Otherworldlyculture.com presents Dead on Movie Reviews.
Salutations and mutilations. You're listening to Otherworldly Culture presents Dead on Movie Reviews. Tonight we will present horror movie reviews and lively debate here on Otherworldlyculture.com and on future select Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join our live chat at that time by clicking on the live shows link on the Otherworldlyculture.com website or joining us live out on YouTube. I'm your host, Tim Kretschmann, coming to you from the east coast of Lake Michigan, and it's my honor to introduce the Faculty of Fear panel presenting tonight's lectures. And we start with Adam Holtzoffel. He is our hardcore otherworldly culture columnist, and he won't brag, but he is, in fact, the Taco King. And if you don't believe me, you can check him out on Film Feast and see his culinary art in action. His text articles and other content is the newly formed backbone of our website, and now he's back for another appearance on Dead On Movie Reviews. Hello, Adam!
Hey, Tim. Thanks for having me on.
We're glad to have you on. Okay, everybody get ready. Here we go. Are you ready? Here we go. The meat is on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, he's America's little sweetheart. He's the killer clown of getting down. He's the speedy freak that loves to speak and streak. He's smoking a stogie and eating a hoagie. He's stalking the small in the wild and pulling down the burlesque with a quest. He is the only, the lonely, Rich Dalzotto.
Hello!
Oh, that's my favorite. Okay, and next, wait, I think I have him singing here. There it is. The man they call the face of Jace and a sincere zombie apologist. It's the man of two voices. It's Coach Michael Exler. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Tim. Thanks for having me on this fine show this fine evening.
Well, I have to. You run the place. Fantastic.
I run nothing.
Everybody get your asses in your seat, sharpen your pencil, and let's get unruly with the Faculty of Fear. We are ready for another exciting show. I mean it this time. We are going to start, let's start with Adam, because I have a button for that somewhere. Here we go. Adam, tell us, what have you been watching?
So, I checked out Ghostwatch. It's a 1992 British documentary. Clocks in at 91 minutes. It was a mockumentary, basically. Aired on BBC for Halloween. They did kind of a live investigation of the supernatural with footage shot by a parapsychologist. Basically, the most memorable thing about the film is the controversy. BBC didn't let people know it was scripted, so they took it as a factual documentary. A young man with learning disabilities committed suicide 5 days after it aired because he heard noises in the pipes in his family's basement. It's rumored that it gave two 10-year-old boys PTSD.
Are you serious?
So,
are you making
really? No, this is legit. Like,
wow.
BBC dropped the ball and they haven't shown it on TV in over a decade. Luckily, it was on Shudder because it's never re-aired in England. It's you can tell it influenced films like the Blair Witch Project and WNUF Halloween Special. I'd say check those out. Avoid Ghost Watch. It was boring. It wasn't worth the 91 minutes I spent watching it.
But
I
it
was
gave
curious.
children PTSD, so it has to be good.
Yeah, but I mean, children haven't seen a Serbian film. Once you watch that, there's no going back. So, I don't know. This just seemed really tame and just very British, and like I kept waiting for something to see why these kids had PTSD, and I couldn't figure it out. So, the controversy is definitely more interesting than the film.
That's kind of like Roar.
Yeah, kind of is. Kind of is. I have a knack for finding those things.
So am I taking from this, Adam, that what you are recommending is that children see the Serbian film as soon as possible? Is that what I heard out of this review?
No, I'm saying you'd be better off watching WNUF Halloween Special or the Blair Witch Project.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying if you've seen a Serbian film, this is gonna look like Looney Tunes to you. So
well, the pictures that I found online of this, the man on the street correspondent, I think, is a comedian in BBC films. There's a sci-fi. I think he was in Red Dwarf.
I think so.
And I seem to think he was the lead in Red Dwarf, and I was like, what the hell type of movie is this?
Yeah, they did a good job making it seem like a real documentary, but I mean, if you've seen one mockumentary, you kind of pick up on it pretty quickly. So
yeah,
I'm not sure how viewers didn't catch on to that.
Well, I mean, every time we have something of this nature, we always go back to War of the Worlds, right? And you know, Citizen Kane and Citizen Kane, Orson Welles and War of the Worlds. And then I remember in the 80s, there was a movie. It wasn't The Day After, but it was something about where it was called Special Bulletin, I think. And it was about a dirty bomb, a nuclear dirty bomb. And I remember when they showed it, like a month before, they were putting out ads that said, this is only a movie. It's made in a way that it looks like it's a newscast, but it isn't. The entire time the movie was on, there was a crawl across the bottom that said, this is a work of fiction. I remember I watched that thing, and I was like, it was impossible to enjoy because they were doing that every 3 seconds. So
yeah, they definitely didn't do that with this, and I don't know, visually it looked good, but overall it just kind of, I don't think it held up other than the controversy surrounding it. So,
well, controversy is important. Mike and Rich, you got any questions before we go to grading?
Why did the kid kill himself? Because he heard noises in the pipes?
yeah, and he had mental disabilities, so I think that kind of played into it a little bit. Like, in the film, there are scenes where you hear, like, noises in the pipes. So, having those sort of things happen, and
well, you say mental disabilities, that could be dyslexia for all we know.
Right.
So,
the article I saw just said learning disabilities. Like, I think it said he was 18 but had the mind of like a 13-year-old, if I remember right. So,
Well,
I'm not sure what all played into it, but his family definitely blames a film for contributing to
well,
his.
I mean, you don't get money if you don't do that. So,
Right,
yeah.
right.
But as Belvin Barstow would say.
Spooky.
Anyway. All right. I think it's time to go to grading unless there's any more questions for Adam here. Okay, we're going to go to grading. Boop, ba-doo, there it comes. Tell me, Adam, what would you rate Ghostwatch?
I'm gonna give it a D minus.
Holy
Don't
crap!
believe hype. Yeah, it's
Man, I think that's where Pet Cemetery ended up last time. Holy
this isn't
mackerel.
much better.
Wow. So even if you have Shudder, don't bother, huh?
I mean, if you're curious because of the controversy, I'd say it's your time, but yeah, you'd be better off watching something else.
Okay. Well, we are going to move on then to our good buddy, the Meat. What have you been watching?
I've been watching Ruin Me on Shudder.
Okay.
It was released in 2018, even though IMDb says it was a 2017 movie. Interesting movie. And I'll be curious because I believe Adam said he has seen this film as well, so I'll be curious to see what he has to say. The premise of this movie is a group of strangers. Imagine that, a horror film with a group of strangers gathering.
Wow.
They're getting together for a weekend, which it's actually kind of cool because it's relevant to things going on these days. It's kind of the camp out slasher horror experience. They're going to be camping out. It's kind of like they have to do kind of some scavenger hunt things. There's going to be horror stuff going on throughout. Horror stuff going out throughout the weekend.
That's got boobs.
And they give in some of the dialogue, they give the impression that maybe there's like an end game where somebody can win this thing, though that never really comes to light. It kind of does, but it doesn't. But yeah, it's interesting. The cast of characters, it's small. There's 6 of them. That are the main campers gathering. And you've got your typical, like defined roles. There's a couple that are goth horror fans, and the goth guy is definitely kind of the hot topic type of goth.
The girl is hot.
She is hot as can be, and she's actually, her character grew on me. I enjoyed her more as the movie went on, not just because she took her top off, but that was nice.
That is a contribution to the film.
And then you have
the whores make money with their mouth, but it doesn't make it right.
Exactly. Then you got the single Uber horror geek guy that's a virgin. Jesus Christ, hang on, there's a fucking cat putting all its claws into my feet. Motherfucker! Ah! Holy shit. Alright. And then there's
been an attack. Use procedure 35. Procedure 35.
Shit. You guys have no idea how much that hurts. Oh. And then there's a silent kind of woodsy type, like you see. He seems like he'd be a capable outdoorsman, good-looking guy. And then the final 2 people are a couple, and they're their main characters in this whole thing. The guy he was supposed to do this with like his best friend. He's kind of into it, but he's not an over-the-top horror guy. And then his girlfriend is not a horror film fan at all, but she's being a good girlfriend because this guy's buddy had to cancel out. I really liked her character when they were quizzing her on movies, and she said her favorite movie was Dirty Dancing. That automatically made me fall in love with her.
Because nobody puts baby in the corner.
Yeah. So what was cool about the movie, it starts off with, them going through you can imagine the process of going through the woods, doing the scavenger hunt type stuff. They have to go camp overnight. But throughout it, you start to find out that this, her name is Alexandra. She's the main character of them all. Not a horror fan, but she's pretty good at the puzzles. You also find out that she is a recovering heroin addict. Who her boyfriend is actually one of her like main counselors that she started dating and feels safety with. The twist of the film begins, and one of the things is, they go through the rules. There's a guy who's in charge of this thing that goes through the rules that you will be touched, you can't touch the actors, blah blah blah. So now all of a sudden, members of the camping party start disappearing. There's blood involved, all this stuff. She sees one of them dead, all this kind of stuff. What starts happening is she starts kind of having trouble figuring out reality from the game. And and she's also starting to have some flashbacks to her heroin days. And
time to play the game.
And I'm not going to give too much more away because there's another.
Hold on, Rich. I don't want us to get in any copyright problems. That was actually Mike emulating a soundbite. Some people might have thought that was so perfect, they might have thought that was actually a soundbite, but no, that was just Mike. Okay.
Of course.
Well, I don't want
the man of two voices.
I don't want this pulled off the internet.
So anyway, this continues. They continue through this. She continues to survive, and continues to have to get through the different tests to move on throughout the camp or the woods, and eventually you get to the twist part of the movie, and it's an okay twist. You kind of see it coming earlier in the movie, then after a while you're like, well, maybe it's not actually going to happen, and then it actually does. So
wow,
I won't give that away, but it's an okay twist. Overall, the acting, I mean, I don't know any of these actors or actresses, but I think they did a nice job. I think they filled their roles well. Like I said, it's kind of cool because there's more and more of these type of horror camping experiences out there these days. So it was kind of relevant. Not a bad watch.
Let's let Adam loose because he has seen this movie. Adam, what were your thoughts?
I caught it on the festival circuit in 2017, and I pretty much agree with everything Rich said. The twist is kind of reminiscent of an 80s movie that I won't mention, because once I say the name of the film, it'll kind of give away the type of twist it is.
Okay.
I thought it was a solid flick. I'd definitely watch it again. The kind of scavenger hunt, overnight camping in the woods, haunted attraction type thing was a breath of fresh air compared to just, hey, we're going to put people in the woods and then let Jason or whatever loose on them. It's been played out, and it's kind of good to have a breath of fresh air in there.
Okay. Actually, now, Rich, is this another one off of Shudder, or?
It is. I saw it on Shudder. I don't think it's exclusive to Shudder right now, but I can't guarantee that.
Okay. Does anybody know anybody over at Shudder? I think we need a sponsor. This is crazy. This is crazy. It keeps coming up. Okay.
It's the greatest streaming channel for the lazy man.
Okay. I guess I'll leave that as it is. Are we ready for grading?
Yes.
Okay. Let me hit the magic button here. Alrighty. Rich, the name of the movie is Ruin Me. What is your grade?
I will give it a... Whoa. Huh? You ready?
I am.
I will give it a B-, because I think it really, for its budget and then the role it was trying to fill, I think it did a good job.
All right, a B-, ladies and gentlemen, which is super exciting for the filmmakers. They are all very, very excited that they received a B- from the meat. So, congratulations to them. Alrighty, we
Aren't
are
you going to get a letter grade from Adam since he saw it?
Okay. But I can't get the music to start the bell to go again. So just go ahead and tell us the number there, Adam.
I agree with Rich. B minus.
Hey, that's always good. I don't have to retype it then. That's perfect. Love it. Love it. A B minus. Okay, so as you're browsing through your Shudder, this is one to look out for. Maybe not the top of the list, but one to definitely catch before you cancel your subscription after a bit. Because that's what people do, right? They cancel it and then get the introductory offer all over again or something.
Oh, no, it's like $5 a month.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder they're not sponsoring us. They're not making any money. That's the
if you pay for the year all at once, it's like $4 a month. So,
all right. You might convert me yet. Okay, we are going now to the coach, Mike Exler. What have you been watching?
Well, to plug our non-sponsor again, I was Shudder, and I watched a Shudder exclusive film called "Don't Leave Home," and I wasn't able to even conjure up a review for the film. So please, if you have Shudder, do not watch "Don't Leave Home." Literally no one talks in the film, and it's not like A Quiet Place where they're not supposed to talk. They just don't talk, and then you're expected to know what's going on. It's terrible.
Mike, is the tagline of that movie the Michael Exler story?
Actually, my life would be much more interesting than that film.
Holy
that's terrible. Oh my God. Okay. Well, okay.
So
since you're telling people what not to watch on Shudder, I don't care what streaming service you have. Do not watch Antichrist. End of public service. Right there.
Don't Leave Home is actually about a couple weeks back when Mike and I waited 4 hours for DoorDash to deliver the wings. That's what Don't Leave Home's about.
Mike, tell them how good they were on WrestleMania night.
They were amazing.
Okay, Mercy Black. Tell us about Mercy Black.
Yes, this is also on Shudder. I don't believe this is an exclusive, but this did come out in 2019. And there are 2 actors that I recognize. One, you may remember her from such films as Other Things that weren't funny. She's a comedian. Janine Garofalo is in this film.
Okay, that's strike one.
Don't everybody get excited at once for Janine Garofalo.
Oh, she's so hot.
You know, it's weird. She actually aged decent because she looks better now than she did back when she was younger. And the other person that I recognized was Austin Amello. I don't know if that's how that's how you pronounce his last name, nor do I care. He played Dwight in The Walking Dead. For all you Walking Dead fans out there.
Well, we know they're out there because they keep going to the conventions.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah.
So, those 2 are in it, and let me go to this. So, this is an awfully long synopsis that I don't really even like. I don't know who wrote it, but basically, we see this girl in a mental institution. It's 15 years after terrible events unfold that landed her in said mental institution. And throughout the film, you learn why she was in the mental institution and the backstory to all of that. And then while you learn the backstory, the regular story is going forward. So, who here has seen like the Real Deal Slender Man documentary on HBO.
I have Beware the Slender Man, and it's excellent.
I fell asleep.
About the two little girls that
in Wauwatosa, which is not far from here, but to my knowledge, I do not have the same barber.
That's good.
Yeah, I just thought I'd put that out there.
That would be weird. So this girl was obviously very mentally ill. Two of them actually were, and they had to go kill someone in the woods for Slender Man. And this actually happened, like Tim said, in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So just take Slender Man out of the equation and you have Mercy Black. It's essentially the same thing.
That is because they made the Slender Man movies and everybody said that isn't as frightening as the real story that happened. So somebody said, hey, maybe that's a movie. Because they've tried making Slender Man like 5 times already that I know of. And all of them suck. Yeah.
The last one's unwatchable that was in the movie theater.
No, you mean in the cinema house?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because that's the proper way to say it. Say no. You seem confused.
So basically that is the plot of the film.
Okay.
We're following the one of the girls that was there that created this Mercy Black. Now Mercy Black is, like I said, Slender Man.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, not with the kids. I don't want to give too much of the plot away.
Okay.
But it becomes an internet sensation, and everybody's seeing Mercy Black everywhere, much like the Slender Man.
Right.
So they took just that Slender Man and changed it into this film. Even though the film is completely unoriginal in all aspects, it wasn't a terrible watch. I mean, the jump scares were actually well executed. They weren't loaded up with them, but every time one happened, it was well built up to. I think the filmmaker had a real knack for building tension, and he did a really good job of making the viewer at ease and then hitting them with something. It really, they have a knack for that. So I think that's one thing that I could say that was definitely a plus for this film. Other than that, it was, I don't know. I just found the fact that it was just completely unoriginal. It really hurt the film as a whole. I think the actors were competent. The filmmaker was. The director was good. The writer-director is the same person. But the directing was fine. It was competent. It was 88 minutes, so it was. I think it was timed well. There was no editing bay needed.
You never know.
It did lag a little bit in the middle, I will say. They probably could have cut it down a little bit more, but I wasn't too mad at it.
Well, anytime it comes in under 3 hours these days, I'm like, okay, good.
That's the way Kevin Costner wants it, Tim.
Hey, you know what? Okay, Kevin Costner gets a lot of this. I don't think it's just Kevin Costner. I think it's the director's cut. I think don't get me on my rant. You are baiting me, sir. I know you are baiting me, and I'm not going to fall for it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Here's what's fucking wrong about filmmaking these days. Let me tell you. They give the directors all the power, so the producers can't say, hey, director, get it in your pants, and stop putting all this goddamn crap in the middle of your damn movie. Let's just make it so that people like it. No, let it go on for 5 fucking hours, and everybody has to sit there and take it, like Peter Jackson putting out 500 fucking versions of his fucking Hobbit films that weren't any fucking good to begin with. And that's what I have to say about that.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, they weren't bad. Mike, you got anything else, or you want to go to grades?
Yeah, let's just go to the grade because, this
Okay.
film's not worth talking about again.
Okay, so you saw the film Mercy Black. What are you grading this bad boy?
I'm going to have to give it a D. Just the completely unoriginal concept of the film. You know, structurally, it was good. I mean, as a film, it was good, but the story, I mean, they didn't even try. So I have to give it a D.
Okay. A D. And that isn't
Full.
for delightful.
Do it over again, slacker.
Don't say that. You know they will. Okay, here we go. I have been watching Monolith. Okay? Monolith is a movie that came out in 2017. It was a blink and you missed it type film. Probably the thing that you might notice from the poster and the pictures that I'm putting up is that lead actress is awful cute and she looks familiar. Think Tucker and Dale meet versus Evil. She was the female love interest in it. So that's where you know her. And honestly, it's pretty much a one-woman show in this movie. It isn't one of these things where they really worked hard to make it just her, but she is pretty much the whole flick. So, what is the movie Monolith? One thing I'll tell you is that in the UK, I think they called it Locked Up, which might have been a better name for the film. The Monolith is the name of the car that's in the middle of this movie. Now, this car is it's kind of like a Tesla. It's a smart car, but it's made for the ultimate safety of whoever's in it. So it has things like a video phone, self-drive, navigation, but it also has like 20 sensors around it for different things. It has an armored body, bulletproof windows, and it has something called the vault mode. That if you feel threatened, you put it in vault mode, that thing shuts down and there is no way to move the car. It's available from inside the car, but also on your phone, on your smartphone, you can turn it on. I think you already know where things are leading. This young woman with her toddler suspects her hubby of cheating. So they go on a drive through the desert in this new car that she doesn't really know everything about this Monolith thing yet. She doesn't know all the ins and outs of the car, but she's driving it over. A series of events unfolds and she hits a deer. Okay. And this is much more convincing than the wolf that a mother and their daughter hit in The Monster last time. It looks like an actual deer hit. And it kind of happens the way you would expect an armored car to hit a deer. It really doesn't affect them a whole lot inside of the car. And as you might guess, while she gets out of the car to investigate the dead deer sitting underneath the bumper, the baby triggers vault mode. They are in the desert. This baby, for some dumb reason, she thinks it's a great idea to put the baby in like this fur-lined pajama onesie while they're going through the desert. So this baby is just cooking inside of the car. Now, this movie, I think, follows the Tales of the Crypt model of we're going to punish somebody for having some personal failings. And by the time the toddler is put in the oven there, you're not a real fan of the mom. She's very self-involved to the point where she actually loses track of her kid in a convenience store. This happens like in the first 10 minutes. And then on the other side of the scale, she like totally loses track of her kid. A couple minutes later, she's being overprotective because her kid supposedly has asthma, and she's sitting there, hitting the kid with the inhaler. But she even says, as she's medicating her child, yeah, the doctor says I probably don't need to do this. And you're like, then what the fuck are you medicating the kid for? The kid wasn't like breathing heavy or nothing. It just, time to over medicate my child. She's suspicious of her husband, and the main reason she's suspicious of her husband, there isn't a whole lot of evidence that he's fooling around on her. The evidence is she stole this guy from his first wife. So she's just, and then there's like this subplot that she was part of like a girl band, and she's jealous of her friends that stayed with this pop group and are doing well because she went off to have a kid. And then there's the whole part of, the car kind of talks to them like Siri or something is talking to her. And every time the car offers to help her, she refuses any help. It says, would you like me to drive? No. Would you like me to do a new map? No. Do you want this? But it's just, these are some of the things that she's just kind of pig-headed. There's a lot of that going on. Now, this isn't the resume of a supermom, which I think is the actual theme of the flick is, don't get so self-involved that you lose your child. Don't over-medicate your child. Don't overprotect your child. It's kind of got this theme of, moderation with motherhood. So the surface story is just this mommy minus trying to break back into the car that's built to thwart every sort of assault that could happen on this vehicle. But as the movie unfolds, you wonder if she isn't just a bad mom, but she might be just a victim of circumstance, or she could be the stupidest person you've ever seen on film. She does stuff like she's laying out on the truck and looking up, and she sees an airplane fly overhead, but she mistakes it for a shooting star at first. Okay, raise of hands, how many people have actually mistook an airplane for a shooting star? That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Then she lets her... What? I'm sorry?
How many drugs are you on at the time?
She is apparently lucid. I don't get it. Then here's another thing. She lets her kid play with her phone all the time as a pacifier. She's got some game loaded on there. So she's constantly handing her phone to this kid, knowing full well the app that controls the car is on that same phone. She starts smoking a cigarette, and the car has a problem with it and says, hey, there's a fire going in your car, put it out. So what does she do? She doesn't throw out the cigarette. She doesn't tell the car, hey, just turn off the smoke alarm. I'm grabbing a smoke. What does she do? She turns off all car functionality at all. I mean, the car, and this is why she hits the deer, is she turned off the car functionality. So she isn't thinking real straight. At one point, to try to call for help, she breaks into a power substation. She gets in and finds it closed, and she wants to call for help. Hey, I got an idea. If you want help, and of course, they're closed for the July 4th weekend. There's all this stuff. I'm like, you're at a power station. Do you want to get power crews there? Very easy. Just start fucking around with their equipment. It's all alarmed. It's not difficult, but she's totally thwarted when she reaches a recording. Then she's... and At one point, now this I actually have to say, good directing here. Because the sun is out, she decides to hang her shirt over a window when the desert sun is heating up the car, and she thinks it's a good shade. Okay, not a good shade, but we all appreciated that she got down to the tank top. That was a good move. So I do have to say, director, good thinking on that one. But at one point, she takes like a 30 gallons of water that she collected by this insane luck that she just comes across, and she pours it over the car to try to cool it off. This is a car in a desert that is baking. It's a black car, so it is just baking. You probably can't even touch the side of it without burning yourself. And she's like, oh, I'll pour a little water on it. This will cool it right off. My kid is fine now. What an absolute idiot. So anyway, all that being said, you're kind of engaged throughout the film. Yes, she does some stupid things and you want to kill her from time to time. But by the same token, you're watching it and you're kind of like, okay, if this is the supercar that's made to block any sort of attack to it, how do you break into it? I mean, she's taking a wrench, one of those big giant wrenches about a yard long. She's taking that and fully swinging at the windshield, and it's not even making a dent or, a crack or anything. So it's like, okay, it is a difficult situation to beat. So, in other things, the car is got a really good modern look. I think this is going to age fairly well, this film. It looks good that way. The ending is a little unsatisfying. I'm not going to get into it because it might be a spoiler, but it doesn't negate what is a pretty good woman versus technology film out there. And as you know, I've been kind of deciding this year I'm going to watch monster films. And based on the trailer, I thought this is kind of a monster film. This car is like Christine. That is not the case. The car, a lot of times people review something like that, and I looked at a few reviews of this movie, and people are saying stuff, well, the car becomes a character, and, and that's like when people say New York is a character in some frickin' romantic comedy. I don't believe that's true with this film at all. The car is simply inert. It doesn't do anything except its damn job. It, shields up. Good luck getting your kid out of there. That's basically what it does. So I actually really appreciated that the car didn't, become Knight Rider and start driving around as she's chasing it and, all sorts of dumb stuff like that. So, yeah, I love Knight Rider too. But, I mean, I think it's a good movie. It is available on Amazon. I'm not sure if it's on Prime right now. It's one of those movies that kind of bounces between Prime and not Prime. But this is a movie it's funny. I'm looking at the grade I gave it the night that I watched it. And yeah, it's grade time.
Grade time.
Grades.
Not
the
eight.
the night I saw the movie, I wrote down B+. Here's the thing. I've been thinking about this movie ever since I've watched it. I've thought a lot of times about it because it's kind of like, okay, when you go to a funeral and people say, well, only if he would have left 10 minutes later, this never would have happened. And this movie has a lot of that where you kind of sit there and you go, if she just wouldn't have done this, she would have been fine. But she did, and this is how she got into prom. So it offers for a lot of thought about it. So I'm actually going to give it an A. Not a B+, but an A, not an A-, an A. I really enjoyed this movie. I recommend it. I think it was a lot of fun. It is probably 10 minutes too long. It could have been shortened a little bit, but
kind of like this review.
Thank you. Thank
Oh.
you. That hurt my feeling. But I really enjoyed it. I had a great time with it, and I highly recommend it to all of our viewers and listeners. You guys got any questions about it, or?
You seemed.
Yeah.
I thought you weren't going to like it from the beginning.
Really?
Like how you
Yeah.
started off.
I
You're
agree.
like,
What?
this bitch is dumb.
What
She's
she?
fucking doing all this dumb shit, and then you're like, oh, this is a great movie.
Yeah. Well, she does do dumb things, but I think that's part of the fun of it because it isn't like she does things that people wouldn't think to do. You know what I'm saying? I think people would try a lot of this horse shit, but she just doesn't take a hint. In a lot of cases, you're kind of like, oh man, just stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. But I enjoyed the movie a great deal. I really did. And like I say, it's one of those movies that you watch it with somebody, and then afterwards you get into debates like, what if she didn't do this, or what if this happened, or what if, you just kind of get into those debates, and that's a lot of fun when you have a movie that you can debate over and over. You know, I find that a lot of fun. All right, we find ourselves at the end of the show, which is probably what most people look forward to most in the program. Now, why? Fucking son of a bitch. I
You have
swear
a
to
cat
God.
attacking your foot as well?
I do not, but here it is. So let's talk about what's going on our website. So of course, our new website is otherworldlyculture.com. We have a lot of comics. It looks like you guys have been doing a lot of comic stuff. A lot of wrestling has gone out. I just put out a video from my visit to the 2019 Midwest Gaming Classic. Is out there. What else have we got? We have, I think it's comics and wrestling has been taking over our feed lately. So if you are interested in those, that is definitely something to check out. Also, let us know what you think of our new website and how it looks and all that good stuff. We are still experimenting with some things. You put out, Adam, didn't you put out a film feast lately? I'm trying to find it. Where the
Yeah, it's a few weeks back, earlier in April.
Yeah, because you went out to the grill and everything.
Yeah.
It was a good show. People should check out Film Feast. It's also available, of course, on YouTube. Mike, anything coming up that you want to promote?
Yeah, tomorrow we'll be dropping the weekly episode of I've Got Issues, our
Okay.
comic book show. And so check that out. That drops every Wednesday.
Okay, fantastic. I think that's the 4th episode coming up, something like that.
It is.
You've been working on that. Adam, you probably have 30 articles coming out in the next 2 weeks.
Not really. I don't have anything planned right now. Just waiting to hear back on a few things.
Good. Take a break. I can't keep up. I can't believe it. Just reading, I'm having a hard time keeping up, and you keep writing. It's like, wow. Rich, anything coming up from your neck of the woods?
No.
Okay, fantastic. All right, everybody. Also, remember.
Wait a second.
Oh, yeah.
Next week, I will be in New Orleans, supposedly America's most haunted city. So I hope to report something back to Otherworldly Culture Radio.
Whoa, that'll be exciting. We'll see how that turns out, and people should watch our front page for when Rich is killed, and we'll put that out there by a spirit. And we'll put that right on the front page. And then we'll also put it on our Facebook page and our Twitter page. Check those out as well. You can get to all of them from otherworldlyculture.com. Anything else before we close out the show?
I'm feeling kind of sexy tonight.
Okay, I think that's our cue. Want to thank you all for tuning in, particularly our new viewers and listeners. We appreciate that you came out and watched the program or heard the program or are listening to it later on your MP3 playing device. Thank you so much, and we'll see you the next time on a select Tuesday here at Otherworldly Culture presents Dead On Movie Reviews. Hang in there, pumpkin, until our next show. And remember, as John Carpenter once said, horror is a reaction, not a genre. Good night, everybody.
Pumpkin.
Otherworldlyculture.com. Don't just say pumpkin, Mike. It's not a thing. People don't do
Pumpkin?
that. They don't, in polite society, Mike, they do not say pumpkin. That's not something we do. Okay? Just so you know.
The next time I have to come in here, I'm cracking skulls.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time.